Hey everybody, we're going to go through April's daily movements. If you've been part of this group since January, you know that we had specific movements that we use to start your day in order to build consistency in the area of exercise. So we're going to build on that with this new set of movements, and the one thing you'll need is a timing app. So you can go into your app store, download any timer app. Just search that, download whichever one's free. You need to set your timer for 30-second increments, because each movement is going to build on the length of time. So to start our movements, the first movement we're going to do for 30 seconds, and it's going to be mountain climbers. So with that, we're going to go into a high push-up or high plank position, push-up position, and we're going to be bringing one foot up at a time, touching the ground every time. We want to make sure when we bring our foot up that we're touching the ground and then resetting. And we come back to this 4-point position on the ground every time. I don't want to do this high knees where nothing touches. That's a different movement. We want to make sure that it's touching each time. So the modifications for this may be to elevate your hands on a bench, a box, or chair. You may not go all the way down. You may not bring your foot up quite as high. As long as it's touching, that's the main goal of this movement. Another modification, if you're uncomfortable with getting down on the ground and being able to get back up, we're going to modify this movement to a high knee. So the easiest modification will just be a standing march in place where we're bringing one leg up as high as we can, as quick as we can, and we're going to do this for 30 seconds. So whether you're in mountain climbers or standing high knees, you're going to do the first movement for 30 seconds. The second movement, as soon as that 30-second timer beeps, you're going to transition into the second movement, which is going to be inchworms. So with inchworms, you're going to be standing in an upright position, hands are going to touch, and you're going to walk all the way out, you're going to walk all the way back up. The goal for this is to keep your legs straight and walk out in that inchworm position as long as you can. So the modification for this movement, if we lack the mobility in the low back to do this safely, if we lack the mobility in our hamstrings to be able to bend down and touch the ground, would be to bend your knees and walk out with the bent knee. You can also modify this movement if we wanted to not worry about the upper body strength to get out and then get back by doing a good morning. So with that, you're going to have your hands touch your ears. I don't want hands behind the head, because a common problem or fault we see in this movement, when you put hands behind head, you pull your head forward. So we're going to have hands just touching your ears. You're going to get a nice stable base, feet a little bit wider than hips, and you're going to have your chest up and out, your butt back, and you're going to go to this position, bending down as far as you can, and standing back upright. So we'll repeat that movement over and over, the inchworm or the standing good mornings, for 60 seconds. So if you set that timer for 30-second increments, you're going to go for the first movement of mountain climbers, 30 seconds. It's going to beep. You're going to transition into movement number 2, which will be inchworms or good mornings. You're going to go through 2 beeps. So it's going to go for 60 seconds. And then your third movement of this is going to be the most challenging movement. And it's also going to be the biggest marker of overall health. There's a lot of research that was done that looked at how well somebody's able to go from a standing position into a laying position and back without assistance. The fewer hand touches or fewer support that you need, the greater indicator of overall health that person had. So with this movement, we're going to go from standing position to laying, back to standing for 2 minutes. So with that, you'll get something comfortable that you can lay on, which is why we have the mat. If you do this outside, the grass is perfect. You can do it on your carpet. You can do it on the bed if you feel comfortable. But we want to make sure that when you're getting in this laying position, that it's something that's not super tough to lay on, like a hard concrete or tile. But you're going to start in standing position. You're going to go to this without trying to put hands down on the ground, laying back out straight, hands overhead, and then you reset back to standing. And you'll do this as quickly as possible for 2 minutes, as many repetitions as you can get in this 2-minute period. So the modifications for this are going to be to add support. If you need to put hands down to get into this position, forearms to lay out straight, and then you need help standing back up, that's your modification. So this is why I suggest doing this on a surface that you're comfortable laying on and then standing up on as well, because you may not be able to lay down without using help and support. And that's okay, that's our starting point. But we're gonna build functional efficiency and functional strength by trying to get this where you're laying down and you're resetting, no hands touching. That's the ultimate goal of every single one of these movements, is to build to this, so that we can get from a standing position to a laying position without any help, without using our hands, without using our forearms to support back to standing. Our goal for everything that we're building up to is to make us stronger in this position, in this specific movement. And then finally, our fourth movement, our fourth and final movement that we'll be doing for the month of April is going to be push-ups. We're not going to have a timer in this one. We're going to do as many repetitions as you can get without having to break. So with that, you're back in this high plank position or starting push-up position. You're going to bring chest down as low as you can, pressing back up. And you're going to do this movement as many times as you can without needing to take a rest. So if you do 5, 10, 15, however many you do, 2, 3, doesn't matter. As soon as you have to put your knees down or take a break, you're done. So the total length of time for your daily movements in April is going to be anywhere from 5 to 6 minutes. If you're able to go 5 minutes straight with push-ups, awesome, go for it. But most people are going to get pretty much wrapped up in about 30 to 90 seconds. So if you add that time up to the additional movements, you're looking at about 5-6 minutes total. And this is what we're going to use every single day to start our day in the month of April. 5 to 6 minutes to get going. This isn't the replacement for exercise. This may be the start for some of you, but if you're comfortable with exercising already and you already have a routine, we're going to use these 4 movements to start our day, and then we're going to continue on with adding movement, consistent daily movement with exercise that would be a little bit longer each and every day as well. But this is going to be our daily movements, no excuses. We're going to build on the repetition and consistency, because remember, we talked about this before. If we throw a bucket of water on a rock, the water does nothing to the rock other than make it wet. But when we want to see with one little drop of water every single day for years, eventually that water will wear a hole in the rock. So we're building on the consistency that we established in the beginning of the year, and we're adding on strength and functional capacity to take on more, because that's what life is about, being able to take on as much as possible and being fit for service. So you guys have 4 movements: mountain climbers, inchworms, laying or standing to laying, back to standing, and then push-ups. 4 movements every single day. We're done in about 6 minutes. Love you guys.